Hey, what's up guys? John here at Maniacs Garage, and today we're going to install an AWE exhaust on our 2020 Toyota Tacoma. This exhaust is the first of its kind for the Gen 3 Tacoma. It's a true dual exhaust all the way through, and it also has something called a 180 technology, and it has to do with the droning that you hear inside the vehicle. It reduces that sound. So I'm really excited to see what this thing sounds like, or I should say to hear what this thing sounds like. And I got the special black tips for it, dual tips. It's a sweet setup. Let's get started. So AWE states that this is the sauce for your taco. This is the true, this is the true dual catback from inlets to tips. It is a first of its kind for the Tacoma, the Gen 3. It has a 2.5-inch H-pipe tuned mid-muffler combination. Features AWE's patented drone canceling 180 technology. It's engineered to provide ample clearance for a 32-inch spare tire. It is handcrafted from dual CNC mandrel bent 2.5-inch US sourced 065 wall stainless steel. Does offer a modular bash guard for the tips to protect your tips when off-roading, which I am not gonna need because this truck's not gonna see a whole lot of off-roading. And it does have the sweet optional black coated 4.5-inch double walled slash cut tips. These are available in silver or diamond black. So less is more. Clean, straight through design, direct bolt on for factory fitment. So let's get started on this install. All right, so the installation guide is on their website, and I did pull it up on my phone. I checked it out, it's pretty straight through. So I think all we're gonna need is some pretty basic tools. I have a 14 millimeter, a 16 millimeter, and an 11 millimeter, and this is for the tips. And I do have some extra open ends just in case. I did spray the rubber mounts for the factory exhaust, hoping that they'll release a little easier because in true Maniacs fashion, I don't have the right tool for it. Even though we have some sweet Boxo tools. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray these bolts and bushings or rubber mounts one more time. Let me just show you something here. So this is the stock exhaust. So this system is a catback setup. So we're going to be removing this whole thing from here back. And so something to point out, these are 2-inch pipes going into a single 2.5-inch going all the way to the back. The new system is a true dual 2.5-inch. So it's going to carry through right here, 2.5-inch. And it's gonna be a dual 2.5 going all the way to the back. So I'm super excited to hear it and to feel it, because hopefully there's gonna be some power gain here. All right, I'm gonna go with this. So this is a one piece from here all the way to the back on the factory's exhaust. This is a 14 millimeter. Looks like it's not gonna give me a hard time, so that's good. I did change from a deep socket to the regular short socket. There's no need for the deep socket after all. See if I can get away without that tool I was mentioning by using the pry bar. Beautiful. All right, so the next step is to remove the bolts right at the flanges that connect up to the catalytic converter outlet right here. And it's nice because the nuts are actually welded to the factory pipe on that side.
You needed the extension for that?
Actually, no, I didn't need it for that. I got the extension out because I think I needed it for those two. But I left it on for that, and now I'm not gonna be able to get in for this. So, hey, you know what? You just keep working that camera. You're asking off camera why it's spring loaded like this, and to be 100% honest with you, I don't know. But my feeling is that the reason that this side is that way, because it actually locks all the way tight, you know, like it runs the thread out to tighten it and lock it, and then it keeps it spring loaded. I think it's because of the way the dual, you know, comes off the engine right here and it goes into a single. I think it needs that, you know, a little bit of flexibility there, possibly for maybe the heat, you know, it moves. So yeah, so check it out. So number one, this is why it needs that spring, because look at that flexing that it has. So it needs to be able to work with that so it doesn't start cracking the metal. But I wanted to show this, you got to keep this factory bushing in here and this one as well. So we're ready to start loading that new exhaust on. All right, so we're ready to start installing the exhaust. This is the first piece that's going to go on, but I wanted to point out the factory crush gasket is in good condition. The instructions say to just retain it. Same thing with this donut gasket, also in good condition. Truck's only 2 years old. So we're gonna keep those, keep the factory hardware, and we're actually gonna start putting this one on first. All right, we're ready to install the H-pipe. The wider portion goes to the front, straight side goes to the passenger side. We already slipped on the clamps, so they're ready to go. And we left these a little loose here on this side so that maybe it'll help us to get this lined up, and it does. Just gotta walk it all the way forward. I'm actually gonna tap it on a little bit with the mallet. Looks like it's all the way on. And then these clamps should go sideways so you're not hanging them down this way and catch stuff with it. And because that's how the cut is in the pipe too, so that's actually gonna tighten it the proper way. It's cool that you don't have to hold the top part. Nice hardware. This is gonna go right back into the factory mount right here, hanger, and then it comes right back out. Okay, at the same time, we're gonna slip it into the H-pipe. There it is. And the instructions say to make sure that it bottoms out in there. It's still going. There it is. This is actually a dead blow. It's got like sand in it, and it like moves around. It's like, all right, so if you're still filming, it says to just snug this up, but don't tighten it yet. All right, let's get going with the over the axle piece. Let's get that clamp on, clamp off the clamper. Here's the magic part of this exhaust. This is the 180 technology. This is that drone canceling feature. So I'm ready to put this thing on. The passenger side one needs to go on first in order to be able to get the driver's side on next, because the clearances are nice and tight on this system, so they're keeping it up high for clearance. One thing to note though is you gotta make sure that you have the hole on the bottom here, so that hole you don't want on the top, because that is a drain hole for the condensation. You do have to crank them pretty good to crush those clamps on the proper way. One of the things that I did is I installed this over the axle tube, the driver's side one. I kind of did it at the same time as I put this muffler on, just so that it can go into the rubber hanger easier. And now it's just sitting on here loose. I still have everything, well, I tightened the crap out of this one, but I still have some other ones semi-loose over here, so it can still move around a little bit, trying to adjust. It can go in different directions. So I'm just leaving it kind of loose for now. How you like the glove? Pretty good, huh? I think it's time for a new one. All right, so we got the over the axle pieces in. Here's our final piece going on. Left those loose so we can jockey this thing on there. Looks like I do have to get it into this hanger first as well. All right, let's take a gander at this. Cool. All right, let's keep going. While I have the whole system still kind of loose, I want to check and see what we got here. Got about an inch there to the bedside. Definitely clearancing more. We have room for a bigger tire for sure. So this is the part that is, it's removable if you're gonna go heavy off-road. and you can take this last piece off with the tips and use this bash guard right here. This will go on right there, and then your exhaust will dump right behind the axle. And then this can take the hits, take this off, put that back on. So if you're going on a nice long off-road trip, probably would be a good idea to pull this tip off and run it without it. But like I said earlier, this truck's gonna be mostly on pavement, maybe some dirt roads, some light off-roading. So I think we're gonna be okay with keeping this thing on all the time. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the whole thing, tighten everything up because it looks like it's all lining up properly, and we're done. So we're gonna put it on the ground and fire it up. Well, it's definitely got some throaty deepness to it for sure. It's got a good sound. It's got a good tone. It's not loud in here. It's definitely not droning. Fifth right there, doing about 65. I like it. Yeah, it's a little louder than your car inside. It's definitely on the louder side, I would say, but not annoying by any means, no. These Tacomas are notorious for having just a really weird tone from the factory. They just have like a tinny, I don't even know how to describe it, but you Tacoma guys know what I'm talking about. It has kind of a weird, annoying, weak kind of a sound to it. And this definitely does not have that anymore. This has a really nice sound. I mean, I don't know if you can compare it to a V8. No, but it's good. I'm gonna go for a pass. Let's see. What do we got here? All right, well, final thoughts on this. The fit was incredible. This thing is built super, super well. We took it out for a drive, and as you guys were able to hear it, it sounds really mean, actually. It sounds pretty deep. It's got a really good sound to it. Pretty happy with it so far. We shifted through the gears. It definitely gets on. I don't know if that's just the, butt dyno feel. I'm really happy with this setup. If you guys are interested in this exhaust for your Tacoma, you guys can check them out at awe-tuning.com, and then you can actually find out where you can purchase it from. Looking forward to driving this thing. It's more fun to drive it this way. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on the Tacoma mods. I will see you guys in another one.